Good morning and welcome to my talk show, Royal Message Talk Show. And if you have privilege to listen to my video that I did a couple of days ago, I talked about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about dating in the diaspora. Should men date their spouses before they get married to them, or should should they not just worry about it? Okay, and if they have to date, how long do they have to date them? So with me this morning, I have two wonderful guests, especially from the state of Virginia. Her name is she's a lecturer, and also her name is Miss Zone from state of Virginia. Miss Zone, welcome to our show.
Thank you, My Majesty.
And and of course, I have with me one and only Mr. Emmanuel Ade from the state of New York. Mr. Ade, welcome to the show again.
Thank you very much, Your Highness.
Thank you. All right, guys. What we're going to talk about today is why do we have to date when we meet our spouses, or well, we know women date a woman. That's the fact. Okay, I don't know if that women date men, but if that happens, well, I haven't seen that yet. Okay, now, Miss Zone, I'm going to ask this question. All right, all right, how long should a man date a woman before they feel in their mind that okay, this is the right woman for them, or should they not worry about dating at all? Just go ahead and get married to them.
My Majesty, I will say that is a very open-ended, that's an open-ended question that you can't really detect when or how long should someone date another person. There are people that can date or meet for the first time and they are truly in love. There are others that will date even for years and might be say, okay, after a couple of years, they want to get married. When I migrated to the Western culture, I did realize that most people I came across with, most friends, and those friends are older than me, they will tell me, Miss Zone, I think um, I prefer being in a relationship than getting married. I'm curious to know how long she's been in that relationship. She will tell me 8 years. I will ask, why don't you want to get married? She says, marriage is just a piece of paper. What matters is the love we share between the two of us. So you can't have someone's love story and apply it on being because it takes it takes a lot of experiences to put two together to make one. You find people that can date in a very short time frame and they get married. Others will date for a very long time frame and then they get married. Then I remember we had this conversation, My Majesty. I won't bring any religious aspect, but I'm going to say this that when you are in a relationship with someone, it's very important to understand, use your senses because we have that gift of senses to understand who you want to end up with. Because getting a wife, that's why it says it's a gift when you have a wife. But if you have a bad wife, it's not a gift. That's a very bad gift. You won't grow.
Yeah.
So it is your ability to take your time and make sure you use your senses to really know. There are things you will not capture. Guess what? Because you are in love, forgetting the fact that you don't see the mistakes she is doing or he is doing. So when you have that mindset of getting married,
Mhm.
make sure that you have that right state of mind to be able to detect what is right and what is wrong.
All right.
Because if you don't hit it at the beginning of the relationship and saying that I'm going to straighten that out when we get married, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will
All right.
not work out.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Ms. Oni. You that I mean, if you listen to my monologue that I did a couple of days ago on this topic, that's something I talked about. All right, Mr. Ade. Now,
Yeah.
uh, the issue with dating women, women have this habit of getting caught with this emotional thing. We will meet a woman and we just like the looks and all kind of stuff. All right. Do you think that most often than not, we let our emotion get in our way and not really have to really find out or date this woman to really get to know them better? We just get caught up with emotional things that we just met this beautiful lady and then that's it. She's got to be the best thing that ever happened to us. Mr. Adi, what's your take on that?
Uh, to me, this kind of dating issue is a Western world. It's a Western world life. You know, what me I see is that, hmm, Yoruba people used to say something. They say marriage is they call it oja okukun,
Yes. Black
which
market.
let's say I can say black market. So you cannot see inside very well. Even when you date for 20 years, you still cannot see the reality until you go inside. Mhm.
Hmm.
So I think what I would say is that before you go into it, you pray very well that you'll be lucky. Sometimes you need some lucky, you need some lucky. You may be a bad man and you meet a good woman. Eh. So for me, it's about God intervention, you
Hmm.
know, that will let you meet a good partner, you know. Eh. So me, I don't see that maybe in fact anybody who get a right partner, it's not that maybe that person is perfect or wise. It's
Hmm.
just by the grace of God,
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
see. Mhm.
Yeah, Mr. Ade, you've made that point so clear to me. In my monologue, I said that dating is not rocket science. Some people date for years and they will have a social marriage, and some will date for days and they'll have a great marriage. So it's not there's not a perfect way to date. But the question that we are going to find out today is that
And your highness, I want to say you some I want to tell you something.
yes,
This thing is about me. I used to sit with my grandfather very well,
mm,
which is my father. When my grandfather died,
mm,
so it was my father big brother, you know, who sit in that position. So he was the one who married all the three wives my father married. All the three wives my father married. He was the one who married for my father. And no divorce. You know, he would just say, "Oh no." When my father want to marry, he will say no. You just go to his friends. His friends' children. He married all of them for my father, and none of them, all was perfect.
mm,
All of them was
yeah,
perfect. You
yes,
understand me?
yes,
You see, these days, I don't know, because of we Africans, we try to follow the Western life, Western life, which is not our culture. That doesn't let our marriage work these days.
mm,
We
yes,
don't do it in our own way. You understand me?
yes,
We
yes.
don't do it
So,
on our
Mr.
own way.
Emmanuel,
Well,
Mr.
yeah,
Emmanuel, that's why I
Oh
was
yeah.
saying that
Mm,
if you notice in those days, people have what they call, how will I put it? They did not go to school to study
mhm,
psychology
mm,
or to study what they call human resource.
mm,
So guess what? Now that we are so advanced in technology that it makes life easy for us. Most of
mm.
us don't want to see the reality behind the picture. When someone, trust me, if you're introduced in front of your own male friend, you can detect if that's a genuine friend or not. Why? Because
Exactly.
you don't have that interest. That
mm,
interest is not there. What is in your mind first is, I want to know if it's going to work. And that sense of direction comes in for you to detect. Now, when you meet an opposite sex, in your mind, she's beautiful. I love her. That sense of attraction overrides your sense of detection. You can't really read that person because guess what? Your sense of attraction is higher to understand who that lady is in front of you. But back in those days, our parents will sit when you bring a woman. They will even go far as making findings. Who is that woman for my son? Is she a good wife?
mm.
And sit down and reflect on the behalf of their son and maybe come on with a conclusion later. I don't think that this girl is going to make a good wife. Because guess what? They say what an old man can see, a young person sitting down will not see. It's not because they are older in terms of age. It is because they have no interest in that person. The interest they have is to detect if that person is real. So that is what is in their mind first. But their son has the interest of attraction and love, and the interest of detecting the good person is behind. So at the end of the day, you can see what the old man is saying. And
Yes.
when you get married, at the end of the day, your marriage is a fiasco. You will blame
Mm.
A or B. And there are certain things, guess what? No matter how you pretend, even if you date a woman for 3 months, there is one thing you will realize in the blink of an eye. Let's take, for example, a shooting star. When the shooting star is passing, how often can you detect that that was a shooting star? It goes like this. That's why you see when you spoke about religious fact, I didn't want to bring that. It takes God's intervention. People pray because they want God to give them that sense to detect if that's a wife. That's why the Bible came in and said, who that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes. 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 It's only we're going to continue on this topic because I mean there's so much question I want to ask you guys this morning. So let's just move it one step at a time. All right. Now we're talking about here in diaspora now. 'Cause what we just talked about is just a general view of dating in the real sense of life. I mean, whether you're back in your the various countries or back here. But I've seen things in the diaspora here that makes me feel something's wrong somewhere. I have met a few guys that they told me that they did that this woman or this lady because she's a certain profession. Or I will just put it this way: there's some men that they don't care what the woman looks like. They will date a nurse if she's a nurse, if she's willing to marry them. So, do you think that part of the reason why most of men here in the diaspora don't care about who they date, so long as this woman has a profession that they want? Miss Donny?
My Majesty, are you dating me because of my profession? Then you that should be foolish. You should date me because of character wise. You should date me because you've seen that wife material in me. If you're dating me because of my income, that means you're so stupid to a point where you don't even think about the future of your family. Because at the end of the day, if that lady is more focused on her job or in her career, what becomes of the kids you guys will put forth? I always advise people, the best people, if you want to get married in terms of profession, look towards a teacher, not because I'm an instructional support specialist. The reason I'm saying so is because they have time for their family. A teacher knows when he or she goes at work. They have a couple of vacation. I've been home for a week for spring break. I'm going to return to work on Monday. I have 2 months from September to December. That gives me that time frame to look after my husband, to look after my children. So if you are going towards a woman because of a woman's profession, I would say that's the first reason why that marriage will not go in the long term. Look at the character. Look if she's a wife material. Look if she has interest. You can't be with a woman and the woman keeps telling you, I I don't I Bishop, when I will get married, I have to make my body, my stomach slim. I have to have big breasts. I have to. So where are the breasts? Did that woman ever tell you, oh, Majesty, if I get married, I want to have 4 kids, 6 children. I want to, I want to have this dream family. There is a woman that has a sense of direction. She knows where she wants the family to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Miss Donny. You really you hit on point, and I agree with you totally on that. Mr. Ade, you know, most of us that live in diaspora, we have an array of, like I told you last my last show, a plethora of beautiful ladies from all nationalities. Okay, now we men are maybe creature of habits that we always want somebody from our cultural background, from our home base, from our country, from our nationality, from our tribe. So most often than not, you see men date women or married women that all simply because they came from their cultural background or from their tribe. So you think that's the reason why some of these men do this?
Ah, so me, what I see is that you see when you sometimes sometimes you marry from your. In fact, we don't have to bring travel something inside marriage. We don't have to bring travel something inside marriage because it happened to me when I was in Ghana. I was dating a lady, and me and this lady. In fact, I would say after my mom, she will be next because this lady feed me. She will cook for me. She will do everything for me, even when I'm far away. She's going to call me like someone and his son. So it gets to some time, and the mother said, "Oh, he said my country is far. The daughter cannot marry me." I said, "I'm a Ghanaian born. I grew up in Ghana. I did my everything in Ghana. Why are you saying I understand your language?" He said, "No, no, 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 no. My country is very far. She will not allow the daughter to marry me." But you know the reason why? Because that time I broke. Because I don't have money. I have a friend. I have a friend. I have a friend who has passed away now, who is late now. So this my friend asked them a question. He said, "If my friend is from United States, which is far away, would you allow your daughter to marry him?" And the woman cannot answer. She was not able to answer the question. He
Mm.
said, Nigeria is just here. Nigeria is just here. It's not far. But if my friend was a white man who come from the United States, you will not say no. You will not say
Yeah.
no to my friend.
Yeah,
So
you're right. You're right. A broke man cannot get a woman. Let me tell you that. I don't care if you live in Ghana, Nigeria, anywhere in this world. If you're broke, you're
so
not going to get any woman. Period. And that's not the story. Miss
so
Donick. Oh, okay. Are you
I,
done, Mr. Ade?
yeah,
Are you
yeah,
done?
I haven't done.
Okay,
So
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I try to convince my partner. I try to convince her. Oh, the mother capture is mine. They say, "Oh, no, 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 no. She's the one who born me. So I can't say no to my mom." I said, "Ah." I said, "Did I offend you? Even you call me before you say I'm a lucky guy. Because since you met me, everything is working perfectly for you. But why? Why do you change your mind now?" He said, "No, let's be like let's stop the relationship and let's be like a brother and sister."
like
Okay,
friends,
I
huh?
say, yeah.
All right.
So let me finish. So
Yes.
I, I think I become a. It was not easy, but I
Mm,
take it like that.
okay.
So
All right.
everybody passed. Everybody went his own way.
Yeah.
Your
All right.
Majesty, if you know that she went where she went to, she
Mm-hmm.
married a guy. They did not. I think they did not marry for a year.
Mm,
They have a son,
mm.
and the marriage break up.
Well,
The
that's
marriage
right.
break up.
That's
The
common
marriage.
right there. Mr. Ade, let's we have someone to talk about this morning. So
Okay.
let's just speed up a little bit,
Okay.
okay? All right,
Okay.
all right, Ms. Zoni. All right, here in diaspora, most often than not, there's a lot of divorces and separations. Okay, most men when they leave their marriages, probably in spite or part of revenge or whatever, they tend to jump into other relationship or to just spite their woman. Now, do you think part of the reason why most of these men, jump to some other relationship because they want to spite the woman, their ex, to show that, oh, listen, you dumped me, now I'll find somebody else who wants me. Do you think that's the reason why most of men don't date a woman?
My Majesty,
Mm-hmm.
I will start to debunk first what yourself and Emmanuel said
Mm-hmm.
before I jump into that question.
Okay.
I overheard the statement you said a broke man cannot get a wife. I don't agree.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead.
I will say I don't agree to it because
And Miss Donny, sorry, a broke man cannot get the man of his choice. And I'm sorry to say that. Okay, let me just take it back. If that's what you're really gonna go after, you will get a woman, but you will not get a man of your choice. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, if you don't get a woman of your choice, it's because that woman doesn't have that vision. Because if you're looking at a rich man, you're forgetting the fact that that broke boy has a vision tomorrow. I didn't get married when my husband was rich. We slept on the floor, but I saw the vision in him. You, ladies are very smart. A rich man could come, and maybe 10 years later he becomes broke. What do you do?
Hmm.
No, let me get back to the question you asked. My Majesty, if you have a broken relationship or a broken home and you decide to jump into another relationship, I will say you're confused because you didn't take the time to heal. You didn't take the time to sit down and put down where the two, where did I go wrong? And where can I fix if I get into a next relationship? So any man that has a broken home and later on jumps into another relationship because he wants to show off to the wife that he can't stay single. You will remain single for the rest of your life because you will move from one woman to another because you didn't get the time to heal, to understand what break your home before jumping into another relationship. That's what I have to say for now.
Right. Thank you, Miss Donny. You're right in that sense because most therapists always warn men and women that whenever you have a broken marriage, the worst thing to do is to jump to another relationship right off the bat. You want to find time to really know yourself better and try to know what really went wrong in your old marriage before you get into the new one. Mr. Ade, look, we are men. Always gonna be men. Let's face it. Okay. Um, Anytime sex is involved in relationship, I mean, it's always kind of like I think we get it confused sometimes. Okay, you met a woman, you had good love with her, and that's just throw you off as a man. You think that because you have good sex, that is it. She got to be the keeper. She has it. and we got kind of confused love making to marriage, and that's where most of the problem come from. Do you think that's what most men do because they confuse sex with marriage with a good wife?
Exactly, exactly. Mostly men and women. Sometimes we don't. Maybe we. Sometimes we don't understand love. We think love is about sleeping with each other. You understand me? When someone will just meet a woman today, maybe within a week, you understand me? They have an affair, and they will be thinking that, oh, because of they have good sex, so it will be like, oh, I'm in love with this lady. I'm in love with this lady because the lady give this man a good sex. He said, I'm in love with this lady. I'm in love with this lady. So within when they get married, when they get married, and maybe this man doesn't get it the way it was before, you see that things will be changing. He will go out. This person will go out again, looking for, oh, my wife is not good. I want somebody good. Meanwhile, when they were dating, it was this woman. You understand me? But everything changed. Everything changed. Things change.
Mm,
When if it's through sex,
mm,
if it's through sex that you want to marry a woman, I think you get it wrong because things can change. Things can change. Even
yeah.
beauty change. Beauty, it change. Someone you know for about someone who is beautiful, who is very beautiful for about maybe 5 to 10 years ago. You know, when you see this person may not be the same again. You understand me? It will not be the same again. That's why I see that a lot of marriage break up because they don't see their partner like because the beauty that they see, the shape that they see. You understand me? When the woman start giving birth, the body may change.
Mhm.
So these people, when they don't see their wife like the way it was
Mr.
again,
Ade,
you see,
let me let me tell you something.
mm,
That's why you see, if you get married in terms of physical appearance
mm,
and sexual satisfaction, at the end, especially men, I would say one of the most important thing in a relationship that a man considers is sex. 80% will not say no. Now, see now the transition when a woman, when the unions now, when the man and the woman comes together and they start bearing kids, when they have the first child, is okay. The second child, things starts changing. Guess why? Because she spends 80% of her time to groom the kids, to cook food, to clean the house, to make sure that everything looks good for the man to come in and have that satisfaction. Now, after she runs the day of the house and she is tired, at the end of the day, that energy, that sex interest decreases. A man that doesn't understand that and that is sexually hyper will have a lot of problems. Because when a woman start giving birth, her sex life decreases a little bit. Why? Because her focus is now on the kids, husband, work, and a lot. Her mindset is being divided. So little interest comes for sex. To ask how many married men, they will tell you that's the issue they have in their home.
mm,
Yes. Because guess what? A man goes to work in the morning and he only comes back in the evening. I don't say that he's not exhausted. The way he comes back, he's fully energized and wants some good sex from the woman. The woman did not only go to work, she came back, she looked after the children, she had to cook, she had to clean up. Who is more tired? And how do
Ah,
you think I
yeah.
will be active on bed?
Mizuni, we're gonna this issue you just brought up is a very another topic entirely that we're gonna get into. Okay, the issue of sexual demand in homes. Just like you said, okay, just as much as women may like that sexual drive when they start to have babies, I can assure you too, some men also lack that sexual drive too. But like I said, we're not going to go into that tonight. Today, I'm sure that's going to be another show entirely. Okay, men and women have, um, um, you know, time that they do reach the sexual peakness, and when they get to that point, well, what they figure out what to do about it. But let's
Your
go
Majesty,
to
why do
another.
you think that their white family that will tell you we're married but we want to start having kids after 5 years because they understand the commitment?
Okay, all right. Well, that's true. That's true. You're right. All right, Mizuni. Now,
And
also,
and Your Highness,
yes.
one something. I'm talking as an African man. I'm not talking about the
Mhm,
Western. You see, African men. What make African men? African marriages break up. You know,
mhm,
African man. They don't need love. Honestly, African man don't need love. What African man need is respect.
mhm.
My wife should respect me. You know, when you disrespect African man, I think
Okay.
if the love will be coming down. You know,
Yeah.
when you start
Yeah.
disrespecting African man, the love will be coming down till
Yeah.
everything scatter. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everyone deserves respect, whether the woman or the man in a marriage. Mutual respect will go a long way in keeping marriage together. That's one fact that we all have to understand. All right, Mizuni. All right. Other reason why some men don't date this woman is because there's so much pressure from home. I mean, you're getting old, and people are telling you, oh, man, you got to go find a wife. You're getting old now, da 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 da. So that pressure alone can make some men go marry somebody that, in their heart desire, they don't want that woman, but because they just want to satisfy their dad or their mother, all that kind of stuff. So, do you think that's one of the reasons why this happens?
My Highness, that should be a very foolish person. Very foolish person, my Highness. Can you take a horse to the stream and force the horse to drink water? No. You can't take a horse to the stream and force the horse to drink water.
Hmm.
You have to, if you've studied in the Western world, or you don't need to study here, or you're highly educated, you should know what is good for you. Pressure has never killed someone. So you know what is best for you, and you know what is good for you at what time. If I have certain pressures like that, I'm a kind of person that I first of all hate. No one pressurizes me. Even my mom knows that. She takes that I am like this, very straightforward. If I have something to do, I have to make sure that I understand the consequences of of that action. So any human being that listen or that gives the ability to be pressurized in order to take something, it means that you did not take your time to sit down to assess it. And that's one of the reasons why most marriages fail, because back home they are being pressurized to an extent that they will tell you we even have a wife for you. Maybe they even think that you don't even have the time to look for a good wife. So I will tell anyone that keep keep to your words and make sure that you act when it's the right time for you. Don't act because you're being pressurized, or you've seen others get your friends getting married early enough, and you think, oh, look at my majesty, look at Miss Ade, they are now settled well at high school together. No, you shouldn't work under pressure. It's not a good habit.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Ms. Oni. I mean, look, pressure kills. I mean, let's face it. When you work under pressure, some people can handle it, some people can't. And if you can't handle it, well, too bad. Mr. Ade, right.
Yeah.
We were talking some weeks ago, or a couple of shows ago, about men going back home. We talked about it, that men that went back home to choose their bride. And more often than not, they don't date these women enough. Most of the dating is done on the phone, or WhatsApp, or maybe video call. So you don't get to know this ladies well enough. Do you think that is the reason why people now think dating is more an app game or phone call away without doing the right detailed dating?
Yeah. So when you are doing that long distance something, and talking on the phone, yeah, everybody is going to say good thing about herself, you know. The man is going to say good thing about himself, and the woman too is going to say good thing about herself. So you don't see the reality, you don't see the reality. You see all the street swears, you know. So, but when you come together, then you see that even this person is not like the way she's talking, she's not like the way she's talking, that brings misunderstanding, you know. Eh, and what happened is that there's nothing like seeing the person seeing the person all the time, visiting each other, spend time with each other. It's more better than maybe long distance talking on the phone. When you talk for maybe a year, or maybe a year, and you say, oh, let's get married. Even you propose on the phone, you don't see each other, you propose on the phone. So this kind of marriage, when you get married, there will be a problem. There will be, in fact, it's very slim. The chance of that marriage working out is very slim. You see.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, the percentages are really not as good. Most often than
Although,
not.
but Your Highness, for me,
Mm,
I'm lucky. Although I said it's slim to work, but for the person I married to, that
mm.
that that's what we did.
Yeah. You're one of the few lucky ones, and I'm
Yeah,
glad
that's
that you
what
are
we did.
lucky.
You
Okay.
know, you know, the lucky I am is that my wife is from a good home. Is from a
Mm,
good home. You know,
mm,
yeah. So I believe me, one of my cousins. I went to visit one of my cousins over here in New York. So, and my cousin have a friend, which both of them, they work in the same hospital
mm,
in Nigeria. So one of the nurses used to my cousin's friend used to visit here. He used to visit here holidays. So my cousin just said, "Oh, this is my brother. As big as he is, he haven't get married." And he said, "Oh," and he said, "Brother, oh, I have a friend in where I work. If you like her," and he said, "I will show you the picture." And she showed me the picture, and I said, "Oh, she's not bad." So this lady was the one who connected us, and we started talking. We started talking. We started talking. We started talking. Believe me, that's how we get married.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Adi. Thank you, sir. Ms. Oni. All
Yeah.
right. Do you really believe? This is two-part question. Okay. Do you really believe that few good men or few good women for all men and women in the diaspora that can you answer the question? Are there few good men and few good women here in the diaspora?
I would say no, they are not. Yeah,
Okay,
no. At
good.
times, at times you might meet a woman and you think she's not good because her past relationship made her bitter.
Okay,
So women get bitter to a point where they are being misled. So
mm, okay.
yeah.
Okay. The other part of the question is this. Um, so if you believe there are a lot of women and men here forced to get married, but I've heard some men says that the reason why they settle for one person or the other person because they couldn't find that really woman or man they want. So this is the closest thing that they can get. Is that true?
Come again, I didn't get the question.
All right. Well, the question I asked you probably was that if was there a few good men and women here in the diaspora? You said there
Hmm.
are a lot of women here or women men, but the other question is that I have talked to a few men who claim that the reason that they got into some marriages because they couldn't find that woman they desire. So this one they have is the closest thing that they can get. That's why they didn't date this. They didn't date them enough because they're so pressured that they couldn't find somebody else after this one.
Um, that's. I think I'll have to sit on that, and we have the next talk on the next program. Yeah, I really have. I don't have much to say about this
Okay.
because it's a
Uh,
complicated situation.
all right. That's fine. All right. The other part. Let's see. Now, okay, being a lady, do ladies also feel that pressure at all? Do they feel the pressure to date a man, not to date a man, and just whenever they see a man and say, you know what, I have met, I've been dating, I've been looking for so long. This is the only one that came, so I'm just gonna marry him. Do you think that there's a pressure for ladies to do that also?
Most of the times I would say there could be a probability which could be high enough, and on the other hand, it could not be a probability. Um, some ladies might get into marriage because they feel like marriage is an achievement. Achievement meaning that um they're looking at they're looking up to the man to be what they have to be. But then a woman that understands how much she is, you have to understand your personality and understand that without or with a man, you can still make it in life. And very few women look up to that. The majority of the women know that marriage is an achievement. They become something behind the man, of which it's not supposed to be like that. Because when they tend to become successful behind that man and they start having money, respect becomes very, very minimal.
Okay.
It becomes very, very complicated to stay as a submissive wife under the man's roof. But the woman that has that independent culture and that looks at life to be successful with or without marriage, they are two different things. Already she's successful, already she knows already what she wants when she gets married.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. One. Ms. Ade, you mentioned earlier on about the good old-fashioned dating. Okay, when somebody introduced your lady to you, and that was the end of it. But do you also know that in this situation, because you got introduced to some lady or some man, you feel pressure that you don't want to disappoint the man or the person that introduced you to that person. That's the reason why some of the things that you may have seen when you're dating this person, or you probably don't want to date her or date him because you know what, this is the best thing I can have. She's so cousin, she's so school uncle. Let's get it done. We work it out together. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true because in African culture, so if they give you maybe in your house, maybe they give they give you this house give you a woman, and you don't take care of the woman very well, another time, if somebody come out of your house want to marry from another family, they'll say, oh, you did not treat the lady you marry from this home. You did not treat the lady well. So it will be very difficult for you to get a wife. You know. So you have to be a good ambassador for your family. You understand me?
Mm.
So that's the way it was before.
Yeah.
But these days, people don't care. They will marry somebody's daughter. They will maltreat the woman. They don't care. But before, people care. They cared about, they care about their image. You know that, oh, if I marry your highness, if I marry your daughter, I need to take good care of your daughter. I need to be more responsible. You know, at least if anything happen, if there's many misunderstanding, I would let you know. You talk to her. You understand me? Not to be beating her, not to be maltreating her. You know, the marriage have to be the family. We have to bring the family along in the marriage. We have to bring
Yeah.
the family along the marriage. That make the marriage strong.
Yeah.
But if we are doing this Western life, that, oh, we meet ourselves. So if you have problem, we have to solve it ourselves. I don't think the marriage will last.
Yeah. All right,
Hmm.
Mizoni, this is for you, man. Do you think that the invention of social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram has given dating a new name entirely? That people don't take time to do the old-fashioned dating to get to know their spouses well. That everything is done on Facebook, on Instagram, on or any other social media. Do you think that's one of the reasons why?
I will not say that's the reason why, because technology is advancing and we have to adapt to advancement. We can't
Mm,
be um we can't keep living in the traditional way of life, because we want to have how was it well, you want to are you fighting to have the best or whatsoever. But then with the advancement in technology, I would say it's far much better, because you get to talk to the person every day. That's why you see, if you watch a lot of detective films and there is that one-on-one conversation, is because they are trying to detect if you're telling a lie or you're telling the truth. So if you are planning to get married and you find maybe that person, you should have a communication with that person,
mm,
a video communication, because you want to understand the person's body language, you want to understand the person's gesture, and you want to have that clear communication with the person. This gives you all the possibility to assess if I'm talking to the right person or not. But back in the traditional way of life, we do not have all this possibility. The person will just take a phone and you're talking, oh, Mary, I love you. And that will be the action. You can't even see how the person is acting at the back of the scene. Because guess what? I had deep within her, I'm just looking for a means to travel to the United States. I don't think I'm going to live with this man forever. So I will say technology has really made a lot of things easy, which is very important, even at the job site. As a leader, it's always good when you have to resolve a conflict, have a face-to-face communication, virtual communication with your team members, because it gives you that ability to understand their body language, to understand their gesture, to see if they are compromising with you or not.
yeah. Well, thank you, Mizoni. Mr. Ade, we're about to round up now. I'm going to give you a point. Do you now, Mr. Ade? We've talked about dating in the here in the diaspora and all kind of stuff. Do you believe in the old-fashioned dating, or you think that this new dating life is the way to go now?
For me, I believe in the old-fashioned dating. I believe in the old-fashioned dating. Because the divorce is increasing. If you check very well, this time we are talking about technology, technology, technology. Divorce is increasing, my sister, all the time. You see, the divorce is increasing, but in the old-fashioned one, old-fashioned, in the you know, during the time of our parents, you see that the marriage doesn't break like that. But these days, it's easy for marriage to break within short time. It's easy for marriage to break. Eh? I don't know if you see you know what is trending outside now. There's something trending. I don't know whether you know it, Your Highness. This Moroccan soccer player. You heard about him, right?
No, 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 no.
Yeah, this Moroccan soccer player. He play for PSG in Paris.
Okay.
Is married to he and the wife, they want to break up now, and the
Whoa.
wife the wife fight for divorce, and the wife demand 50% of this guy wealth. And you know what this guy did? This guy registered all his property in the name of his mother. You see, so you know that the woman doesn't love the guy. The woman just love her because he's a soccer player. He make millions of pounds. He make millions of euro. That's what the woman wants. You understand me?
Hmm.
So this modern days, dating, marriage, it's not working.
Yeah.
It's not working. There's a lot of divorce outside, which we don't understand. You buy all the comfortable, you make your wife comfortable, and at the end of the day, she still don't love you. You know.
All right.
For
Thank you,
me,
Mr. D.
the way our fathers did, yeah, the way our mothers did, we have to go back the way because they get it right. Today they will say, oh, maybe our fathers, they hurt our mothers emotionally, because of they don't know what to say. They stay in the marriage like that. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. Even
Right.
these days that they
Yeah.
will say, oh, they say technology, all kind of, let's do things in a modern way. Why marriage is, but the divorce is increasing. The divorce is increasing very well everywhere now. You see.
All right. Thank you, Mr. D. Thank you very
Mhm.
much. Ms. Oni, I'm going to give you the final talk on this show today. You've heard Mr. D talk about he supports the old-fashioned dating more than the new one. Um, do you support the idea that old-fashioned dating is still the best, or you think that we should go with the trend?
No, like I said, the traditional system is not the best in because I just said it that we are migrating slowly into advanced technology. And if you bring in the old-fashioned system, you will lose your sense of direction. Because
Mm.
guess what? Most ladies are coming in, are following the advanced technology. It is hard for you to see a woman that is still in an old-fashioned system. Don't
Mm.
get what Mr. Ade is saying is because he thinks that going back into the old-fashioned system, things are going to work out. It's not going to work out. Ask yourself, how many women are now sitting without an Android phone? You'll notice that 80% of the women have an Android phone. So if you go back to the old-fashioned system, while we are in the new era, how are you going to detect that woman? It will be so hard because her level of reasoning and her level of looking at things is not what you're thinking. Because
Mm.
you're looking at the old-fashioned way, whereas she is more advanced than you in certain ways. So it makes things so complicated that she's there for her own interest. And there is no woman nowadays that want to embrace a man in the old-fashioned way. Go and dress in the old-fashioned way, the way our parents used to dress back, and stand in front of a woman and see if she's going to say yes. No, she won't, because all of us are living that era. to embrace the technology's way of life.
Mm, yeah. All right. Thank you, Mizoni. And I totally agree with you on that. The old fashioned way may work for a while, but we are moving to a new direction now, and we definitely have to go where the trend is going. We can continue this topic all day, but like I
Yeah.
said, this show is every show we
But
come up with
I'm
a
running
topic.
late
but
for church.
but my sister,
Uh,
my sister,
yeah,
my sister,
yes.
we can't throw everything away. We can't throw everything away. We're
No,
gonna miss
Well,
everything. You understand me? We
no,
can't
Mr.
throw
Ade,
everything
we are
away.
not throwing everything away. We've used the old-fashioned way and modernized it.
yeah,
Like I
yeah.
said,
Exactly.
yes, like I said,
Mr.
our old-fashioned
Mr.
way, we couldn't talk back in Africa without looking at the person. You're talking to the lady back in Africa. She's like, "Hey, Mr. Ade, how was your night?" But she's in a different man's hand. Do you love me, baby? So, and is that the old-fashioned way you want to keep staying behind? No, we modernize it. We upgraded that when you want to talk to someone, you have a camera that you can
Mm,
see the person because you want to read the body language and see the person's gesture. If the
mhm,
person is communicating with you or not.
mm,
I can tell you
yeah.
I'm at home, whereas I'm with a boyfriend. How are you gonna know
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, we're not going to
My
this topic.
majesty,
Like I
let me
said,
go to church.
all right. I know that we already ended the show. Ms. Zoni, thank you very much, and please tell God that I'm sorry that we kept you from church today. And Mr. Adi, as usual, thank you for showing up. You're always a regular, and I really appreciate your time. Yeah, listen, guys, whatever works for you as a man, do it. If you want to do old-fashioned way, hey, more power to you. And if you want to do it the same the new way, hey, same, go ahead and do it. So long as you're happy with what you do, that's all that matters to us. Guys,
Exactly.
thank you very much, and happy Sunday to you. See you guys soon. Okay, bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.